Hi guys, welcome to another video. We're here with another Please listen to my feelings video today. So we're going to be talking about more theories and kind of mainly more like analyzing episode 14 of YashaHime. I know 15 is going to be a huge episode because we're going to be, going into the twins' backstory, see what happens to Inuyasha Kagome, Sesshomaru, what's its deal with the comic, Kirinmaru, this new girl named Zero, all of this stuff, and like basically see like the separation of like what happened and stuff like that with the girls, and like obviously Rin. Disclaimer: this little theory video is going to be including some of the little clips that they shared a few days ago. If you guys don't know, previews and like spoilers that creators of YashaHime showed during a panel interview with the voice actors and stuff like that. So this video will include those. So if you don't want to see those types of spoilers, they're kind of major. But yeah, if you don't want to see spoilers, I recommend not to watch this video. Totally fine, I get it. Because like personally, I would have rather have not seen the spoilers, but Twitter, I saw it all, which is all fine. So I decided I might as well kind of analyze it if I've seen it already. So we're going to be talking about Moroha's master, which she mentions for the first time in episode 14, Homura and the forest fire, which separated Towa and Setsuna, as well as Riku's intentions and like just stuff about Riku, because Riku's so sus and weird. I just want to talk a little bit about Riku and his thoughts and the way he was acting in this episode, and as well as predictions for the preview. Girl, from the preview plus some of the clips that they showed with the voice actors panel there's so much going on. So I feel like episode 15 is gonna be really rushed, or like there's gonna be just a lot of stuff in it. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Moroha's master. So in episode 14, Moroha was kind of having a fit, saying like getting all like angry and mad, saying like we keep fighting demons, we keep like killing them, but there's never like a head for a bounty to uncover at the end of the day. She was just so like frustrated, and then Setsuna was like, why do you have a debt in the first place? And then she all of a sudden says, that's because of that master. And this is kind of the first time she kind of slipped, I think maybe because of the heat of the moment, because in the past she would like not talk about it, right? It makes us think like, okay, who is this master? When analyzing the opening sequence, there's like this really fast part. There's this guy, this new character. He looks like a wolf demon. He has silver hair, and it looks like Moroha is really distraught, and she's like hugging him in like sadness or something. He looks injured, right? So we're thinking that he might be her master. They also showed a lot of clips in the preview thingy with the voice actors. So we're thinking Moroha's master, and I was thinking like he looks like a wolf demon. So like wolf demons tend to travel in packs or like be together in packs. But to me, because he's with Moroha, it kind of looks like he's a lone wolf. And then I had a live stream after watching the episode 14, and a lot of you guys were like, oh, it looks like Kai, it looks like Kai. And then I was like, who the heck is Kai again? Like I couldn't remember. And like in my head, I kept thinking about Kai's brother, Shinta, he looks like a Pokemon. Kai is basically the older brother, and in the final act, Byakuya actually killed Kai's clan and then turned Kai against Koga, framing Koga that Koga killed his clan, but in reality it was just Byakuya who was manipulating everything. Basically, Kai ended up getting his brother back because he was like kidnapped and stuff like that, forgiving like Koga because Koga didn't do shit. Byakuya got away, blah blah blah. Kai and his brother ended up staying with Koga, I'm assuming, after all that, because if you saw at the end, he attended Ayame and Koga's wedding. It's very possible that Kai is Moroha's master. It looks like he's like a teenager or like a young adult at this time. He has a lot of similar features: the silver hair, the light eyes, the little headband. So it's very, 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 very possible that that is Kai, and I actually really think it is. It also brings up more questions like, where is his brother? What happened to Koga's clan, right? Because if Kai stayed with him, like did he end up deciding to go on his own journey, not really staying with Koga's clan? There's a lot of more questions that come up. Adding on to the fact that Kai, or the master, is probably Moroha's master. He's probably the one that taught Moroha how to fight, where she learned a lot of stuff about demons, because as we know in the beginning especially, she was really knowledgeable about demons and very smart. He could have taught her that, as well as Jyubei, but I feel like it's a mix of both, but maybe her mentor, her master, is the one that taught her that. Adding on to how Moroha's master is the reason of Moroha's debt and why she owes so much money to Jyubei is because her master was a gambler. gambler. He gambled a lot with Jyubei, it looks like, from what I see. Oh, by the way, with these clips, I didn't read any translations, so I'm only going based off of visuals. So a lot of this stuff could be debunked already. I just don't know, but I don't know any of the translations, so I only based my theories based off of the really little Japanese I know and just the visuals of what they showed. But basically, I really think that Kai, or the master, was a gambler. He played a lot of games, betting stuff with Jyubei, and it looks like he gave him nunchucks, and nunchucks is a type of weapon. So it looks like the master owes Jyubei money, and instead of actual like money and stuff like that, he gave him like weapons in replace of money. So the theory is that maybe the master died and the debt was passed down to Moroha since she is his underling. Adding on to the sword thing that people were pointing out, that it looks like maybe Kai actually had Kirinmaru, the sword that Moroha has all the time, and Moroha inherited it after maybe he passed away. Maybe she could have paid Jyubei back the debt by selling or giving away her sword, but then instead she decided to keep it instead and pay it off by doing bounty hunting for Jyubei. That could be an option, or another option could be that the master is alive, because this just is like another possibility that maybe he could be alive, because the way she says it's because of that master, like she said it in like malice and like just anger, because I feel like if he was dead she wouldn't have said it in that way. But I could just be overanalyzing, and maybe she just said it like that because of the heat of the moment, because of her frustration of not getting any money from like all the work that they've been doing. Or maybe her master is just injured and can't work, and Moroha just like has to pay his debt off for him because he's not able to. And because like if you think about it, like what if Moroha takes care of him, like maybe he's injured and takes care of him at night and stuff like that, because like we always see Towa and Setsuna at Kaede's place resting at night when they don't have like a mission or anything. Because like where does Moroha sleep? Where does she go? Where is her home, you know? Like does she live in the forest? Like maybe she lives with her master. Or another option is that he ditched Moroha or like disappeared, and then Moroha has the responsibility of paying off the debt. Or because again, like he's her mentor, her master, maybe he gave her the task of paying off his debt as like a challenge or something like that. Or like he's making her repay off his debt in return of the knowledge that he gave to her. All that stuff. And it also brings me up again, but the episode with Sesshomaru and Tokotsu, who killed Tokotsu? It's still on my mind. Y'all are saying like, oh, it was probably Moroha as Beniyasha. But like when Moroha is Beniyasha and then she goes to sleep and then wakes up, she still remembers what happened, right? It's not like she goes into like this alternative like personality and like doesn't really have any memories of the fight or anything, right? So if it was her, she would remember. But it's just like, who was the one who did it? Who killed Tokotsu? Who chopped his head off? It's still making me wonder. Maybe it was her master who did it, right? Maybe he's still alive. And then Homura and the forest fires, also like mentioning Zero and Sesshomaru. So with Homura, I noticed that when he was referring to Towa and Setsuna, he just called them the ones with the gold and silver pearls. And I think that was kind of significant, but also insignificant, and I'll explain why in a bit. I noticed that their friends call them by their name, their family call them by like daughters or like granddaughters. Riku calls them half-demon princesses, Chikyo calls them daughters of Sesshomaru, Homura calls them the ones with the gold and silver pearls, Zero, or the old lady, says the cursed half-demon sisters, and as well as Kanton says those damn like half-demons, right? So what I've kind of determined from this is that he is just very insignificant. He just seems like someone that Zero just hired and then like was like, okay, just burn it down, you know? He wasn't anyone like in their squad. He was just some random person that Zero just told to like burn out the fire. And I've learned from the Yotsume thing, I was so sure that he was like a significant character, but nope. He is not. But yeah, and then Zero told Homura to burn the forest and to kill the twins. And everyone is saying like, oh, Zero is Kirinmaru's sister and she just doesn't like the twins because they're half demons, stuff like that. Like she hates half demons. And then when she tells Homura to burn the forest, Sesshomaru just like walks away. Like he wasn't like, stop it, like defending them. I think that's just how he is, honestly. He's just like triple dot. I think he just had confidence that he could save them himself, or he had reinforcements there already. Like people people looking out for the girls, and he had trust in them that it will all be like alright, right? And I think this was also like a post lecture, like maybe Zero was kind of lecturing to Sesshomaru on something, and maybe it just like didn't really turn out well, which is why she ended up saying to burn down the forest or something like that. Maybe the girls were in hiding the whole time and she just found out that they were still alive, or like that they exist, and then she's like, kill them. And then Kanny, I remember during the live stream, Kanny said that maybe Towa and Setsuna were both meant to go through the portal during that time, but somehow they got separated and only Towa was the one who went through. But then it's just like, it's so confusing because it's just like the portal only existed because of Roothead, because Roothead had the power of like a tree, he absorbed it and created the portal, right? So it's like there's just a lot of missing pieces there, and people are thinking maybe someone pushed Towa into the portal, maybe Setsuna got like captured by like maybe Jokin or Sesshomaru or Rin saved Setsuna because they were like briefly separated and then lost track of Towa, and then Towa got catapulted into the portal. Again, in the opening there's like a scene of someone running, like their feet running in the forest fire, and people were saying like that could be Rin, maybe Rin was present and like trying to find the girls, but yeah, we don't know. Next, Riku somehow planned all of this. I feel like Riku is just someone who knows everything. Like that's why like a lot of people are saying like, oh, maybe we could already manipulate time, maybe he has someone time traveling already telling him information, or maybe he himself can time travel, because he just seems so chill and like he knows all the events that's gonna happen, right? He just seems like that person, like no worries, like he just knows everything will go according to plan, stuff like that, like that type of guy. So there was a quote that Riku said at one point to the girl. He said, no matter where you hide, Homura will always find you. And it kind of made me think, oh, does like Riku know Homura himself? And like maybe like he was referring to like how maybe Homura just failed his job in killing the twins. He was known maybe to get the job done, to find whoever he's after, but then he somehow lost track of the twins and didn't know that they survived. So maybe like Setsuna did hide somewhere that he wasn't able to find her, because obviously Towa did hide somewhere that he was not able to find her through the portals. Maybe that's where Setsuna ended up. So maybe Setsuna was teleported somewhere else too. Or simply, maybe, if I'm overanalyzing this, maybe Riku was just being a manipulator. But it just seems like here, Homura doesn't know who Riku is, because he says, I don't care about that, who the hell is that guy with you anyways, huh? So he doesn't know who Riku is, but it kind of seems like Riku knows of Homura himself. Clearly, Homura is just like really insignificant, but then it kind of makes me think like, what is Riku's connection with Zero? I'll add on to that in a bit. Like this whole episode was kind of weird in a way, because like it kind of just seemed like Riku just wanted Homura to suffer. Maybe he had like a side objective of getting the girls to kind of be triggered by these elements and kind of be reminded or like find out who was the one who started the fire in the first place, to trigger memories and stuff like that. Yeah, Riku's like main objective was mainly just to like piss Homura off, not even the twins. So now that we're gonna move on to like Riku's like kind of like anger towards demon and human relationships. So at one point he says, well, I for one would never understand the love affairs of human beings. So clearly demon. He is definitely part demon at the least. I'll add on to that more in a bit based off of you guys' theories in the Discord. But there's another part where he says like after Homura like kind of burns himself to death, Riku says, how utterly absurd, nothing good comes from loving a human being, not for the great dog demon nor for Sesshomaru, nothing but destruction. So yeah, he was making Homura mad purposely, and to me this whole episode was kind of like a representation of how Riku sees demon and human relationships. Maybe he sees that humans are the stronger ones while demons are more pathetic. Maybe because demons become weak when they love a human. Because at one point, Towa says, did Miss Tamino risk her life just to come here so she can break up with him? While she was breaking up with him, Homura just killed himself and burned himself to death. And that's like ultimate weakness. So maybe Riku just sees demons who fall for humans as really weak, pathetic creatures. Since he basically only kind of referenced the great dog demon nor Sesshomaru, who are both full demons. And he didn't really say anything about the human part of it. Riku really contrasts Sesshomaru in that way, because Sesshomaru blamed Inuyasha's mother and Inuyasha for the death of his father, while Riku is saying here it's like pathetic for the dog demon and Sesshomaru to be loving a human, and it brings nothing but destruction. To me, this like human and demon combo obviously creates half demon, and it's just like half demons bring destruction in Riku's eyes. It kind of also reminds me of episode 8 about like Riku's anger towards others for some reason. At one point he he says in episode 8, it's my policy to kill only the ones I love. But then it's kind of weird. I don't like, please correct me if I'm wrong here, but like he killed Kiyuki, did he not? Did he not kill her there? That's why I was kind of confused, because he said I only killed people he loves, but then like he killed Kiyuki. But I don't know. At the same time, he says he kills only the ones he loves, but then at the same time he says that he despises the perils. He thinks they're weak, they suck. But then also like makes me like question their connection again, which I will go more into it in a bit based off of one of you guys' theories. Kiyuki knew Riku knew Kiyuki, had no problem killing her, but then again with the whole his policy of killing the ones he loves only, he already says that he takes a liking to Towa. So that kind of maybe foreshadows that maybe in the future he's gonna want to kill Towa for some reason. So yeah, is it like foreshadowing in the future when like turns into love? Maybe not in a romantic way, but like maybe in a way where he's like, oh, I love her determination, or I love how strong she's become, I want to fight her, something like that. Not in a romantic way. That kind of makes sense as well, because he's always kind of picking on Towa, asking her the questions instead of anyone else. And he's like in episode 8 again, he was like, now show me Lady Towa, the Azure dragon wave you inherited from Lord Sesshomaru, right? So he wanted to see her power at that moment. He wanted to see how strong she was at that moment compared to Sesshomaru's power, because he called it half-assed, which honestly is kind of half-assed. I mean, it's understandable because Towa's young, but yeah, she has like no combat experience. But it also makes me want to bring up, did Riku know Sesshomaru way back when? Way back then? Because when you think about it, the Azure Dragon Wave is a technique that was created during the time span of the original series as well as the final act. Because the Azure Dragon Wave is a technique from the Tokijin. The Tokijin was created by using Goshinki's like head or whatever, his like body part. It was created sometime during the beginning of the original series, and then it broke in the final act. So if Riku wanted to observe Towa doing the Azure Dragon Wave, he must have seen Sesshomaru use it in person. So it's either that Riku was there during the time span of the original series to the final act, or he time traveled. But I really think he was just present there because of the previews, right? Because he was present when the kids were babies. And then that kind of like leads me towards the previews, and I just tried to kind of decipher everything, but I just had a really hard time. So if you just want like random really messy thoughts from here on out, that's what you're gonna get. Okay, so transitioning from Riku to the preview of episode 15, when Riku says how utterly absurd, nothing good comes from loving a human being, not for the great dog demon, or nor for Sesshomaru, nothing but destruction. And obviously a human and a demon creates a half demon, so maybe it's like something or someone was after the half demons, because according to the previews, it looks like this was during the same time Moroha was separated from Kagome, when Kagome gave Moroha to Hachi, and the same time where Sesshomaru took the girls away from the village. So like the babies were safe, and the girls were given this gold and silver pearls for protection, and Moroha was sent off with Hachi, and given the rouge. Meanwhile, the only other like half demon, Inuyasha, was probably like, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna fight, I'm not running away. And then probably Kagome was like, I'm gonna stay by your side no matter what. But then it's just like, who is the half demons or the part demons being protected from? The people I came up with, Zero, Riku, or Kirinmaru, or like the asteroid. Riku. So looking at all the clips that we got so far of Riku that involve him, so it seems like in the preview that Kagome and Riku met for the first time there. Mainly because with my most basic Japanese knowledge, it seemed like Riku was introducing himself and he already knew of Kagome. And based off of these images in the preview, it looked like Kagome was really telling him something urgent, kind of begging something like, oh no, something's gonna happen, or like, please do this, something like that. And then we cut to another scene in the preview where Kagome is holding the rouge of Inuyasha's mother. And then another part of the other preview where Inuyasha's holding the rouge. And in the background, if you see, there's like a destroyed house. So it's like, was it post-battle? Or like, did they visit ruins of something? So my only questions are like possibilities is, did Kagome give the rouge to Riku? Or was she just like bringing it up for some reason? Or did they just first receive it during that time, during that scene? Maybe like Miyoga was like, oh, this is Inuyasha's mother's rouge, la la, here. Because it looked like it was like ruins of something. Either ruins of a post-battle from a long time ago, or ruins from a battle that just happened. But that also brings up another question. A battle from who, right? So then it also leads, the whole rouge thing connects to another scene where Riku is giving the rouge to Hosenki, and Hosenki is the guy who makes the pearls. You guys remember from the original series, he is the son of the original guy who made Inuyasha's black pearl. And because he is still an apprentice during that time, he said that it would take 100 100 years for him to create a pearl. Yeah, that's some like background information on Hosenki II. But it looks like here Riku is giving Hosenki the rouge. But then in another preview, there's also another scene of Hosenki holding a pearl. So it's like, did they trade? What was really going on in that scene? And I have no idea. But somehow Moroha did end up with the rouge. But then we also have another scene from what we remember, and this was like the dialogue in the preview that Kagome was like, oh, like this is a keepsake from Inuyasha's mother. If we were having a girl, we decided we would give it to her. And then she gave her the rouge and sent her off with Hachi. That's in like another scene that is gonna happen in episode 15. But then we're like asking like, when did that happen though, right? So like, when did these events take place? When did Kagome meet Riku for the first time? When did that scene where Kagome was holding the rouge happen? And then when did Kagome send Moroha off? And when did Riku give Hosenki the rouge, right? What if Riku was the one that gave Kagome and Inuyasha the rouge? Which I don't really think, but that's also a possibility. Maybe instead of Riku giving it to Hosenki, maybe Hosenki gave it to Riku, but it's just like, why would Hosenki have it? So it's just so confusing. Like, when did all of these like kind of events happen, right? Or maybe gave it to Riku, or maybe Riku obtained it after or before Moroha was sent away to give to Hosenki to put powers in it somehow to create the whole Beniyasha thing to maybe like protect. So I don't know, after analyzing all this stuff about Riku from what we know so far, I don't think he's the one that they were trying to protect the kids from. Based off of the image previews that they released, it looks like Inuyasha was being captured. And when I'm saying Inuyasha's gonna be sealed away somewhere again, like this man hasn't been sleeping enough for like the past 50 years. I really hope Kagome was captured with him, because it would break my heart for them to be separated again. Like, I can't take that shit. Nope, they have to be together. And then it also brings up Zero, and then the scenes of her that we see in the previews. We see her with Lady Joka, which is the clan leader of like the intertwined twins from the other episode. We see her kind of talking to Sesshomaru. It kind of seems like a lecture as well. We see her again in a scene with Kirinmaru and Sesshomaru, possibly at like Kirinmaru's house or something. With Zero, we already know that she hates the twins. With Lady Joka, we know that she wanted revenge from Sesshomaru, and I wasn't really clear on what it was really, but you guys were saying that Sesshomaru probably stole the pearls, the silver and gold pearls from Lady Joka, and gave it to like the twins back when that episode aired. But I was really obsessed about that theory because Sesshomaru doesn't seem like the type to borrow power from others, and that's why I was kind of like turning that like theory down. But it would make sense if he took the pearls for the girls, in which we know he did give the girls the pearls for protection, similar to Inuyasha, but Inuyasha's pearl wasn't for protection, it was just the portal. I just thought it was weird that Sesshomaru would steal the pearls, and like, because I just thought it was out of character, but it makes sense that if he's doing it for the girls. And it also makes sense that he didn't commission the pearls to be created, because if it was him who commissioned the pearls to be created, the rainbow pearls probably wouldn't be a thing, because he would just the 2 pearls for the girls instead of like making a whole 7 thing. Plus also Hosenki says, or Hosenki II, the son, said that it would take him 100 years to create pearl. It's possible that this was a thing for a long time, like this has already been a thing. I'm just assuming all of this stuff is taking place on the same night. Like, that's just a lot of stuff, honestly. All these preview stuff like is all on the same night. It looks like Zero is confronting Sesshomaru, maybe warning him like, oh, you should be ruling the West, you shouldn't be leaving your duty, stuff like that. Well, obviously Sesshomaru wanted to walk his own path and have a family, right? And then we have the scene of Kirinmaru and Sesshomaru where Sesshomaru just like walks into like Kirinmaru's place. And I really believe that that kind of encounter happened before the shit that was supposed to go down, like afterward. Because like Sesshomaru, with my limited Japanese knowledge, he says Hasashiburi, which is like long time no see basically. So that was like the first time they saw each other in a while. And they also mentioned something about Inuyasha, but I couldn't really make out what it was. But here is Pear Bear's theory that I kind of listened on in. Her theories are the best, so if you wanna always like read up on like other people's theories, listen to her theories, I really recommend joining the Discord and just like chatting up on everyone, and everyone is really open to sharing like their theories and stuff like that, and it's really cool. So this is Pear Bear's theory. I love you, Pear Bear. Kind of clear that Zero hates half demons, that she is a sister of Kirinmaru, and that Riku is the son of Kirinmaru and is possibly half demon, which makes a lot of sense as well. And then her theory is that maybe Zero killed Riku Riku's mother, who is probably the human, and Riku thinks that Kirinmaru was the one that killed his mother. Maybe Zero framed Kirinmaru for killing his mother, and maybe that's why Riku was kind of kicked out. Maybe like Zero kicked him out because obviously the mother isn't there to protect him. I don't know, something like that, right? Yeah, Riku thinks that Kirinmaru was the one that killed his mother, and maybe what he wants to do is get revenge on Kirinmaru and maybe collect all the pearls to go back in time to save his mother from dying. So that could be a thing. That's why he's collecting all the pearls, or he's just collecting the pearls to get stronger to defeat Kirinmaru, since he is not fully demon. But then again, Riku is probably really powerful because I remember in episode 8, Jyubei was saying, oh, like you could probably kill pearls yourself, like why are you commissioning them? Like with someone of your power, you should be able to do that. But then Riku was just like, I only kill those I love, blah 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 blah. I don't know, maybe he's saving his time killing one person only with Kirinmaru, maybe his father, right? Or what if Riku was the one who killed his mother because maybe he wanted to test the limits of his father to see how far he would go with his weakness. This is just referring to how I think Riku just hates demons that fall for humans. And what if he was referring to nothing but destruction as himself? Maybe because he might be a product of a human and a demon together, he was the one who brought destruction upon his family. And maybe he was really jealous of Inudad and Sesshomaru's little family because maybe he's like, oh, if I can't have happiness within my family, they can have happiness within their family. Obviously, we all know that Riku and Kirinmaru are related somehow. Also because like he knows the perils and the perils know him. So yeah, that's a really cool theory, and I really thought that theory was really big brain. So, and then another option is protect the half demons from Kirinmaru or like the asteroids. So with the scenes that we have of Kirinmaru and like the asteroids and stuff like that, it said that like Lord Sesshomaru and Inuyasha arose to prevent the asteroid from like destroying everything, right? But then it's just like, when you think about it, Inuyasha and Sesshomaru working together. Really? Is it like development? Is this development? But when I was analyzing the scene, it looked like Sesshomaru was like annoyed that Inuyasha was following. He was like, oh, why is this half demon coming after me, right? So it just seems like they weren't in bad terms. It was more like, oh, like I'm annoyed, you know, like why is he coming? But it looks like Inuyasha was following after Sesshomaru. Maybe Inuyasha was like, yo, Sesshomaru, your kids are being born right now. Be by your wife's side, what the heck? I'll take care of this asteroid myself, right? That could be a thing. There's another scene of Kirinmaru. He's like, why have you awoken me? So like, was Kirinmaru awoken to help defeat the asteroid or something like that? Because later we see like them all kind of gathering together at the village, right? Or at the shrine. So it's just like, yeah, so it's weird, right? It looks like Sesshomaru went to collect Kirinmaru and then they came together. But then it's just like, maybe Inuyasha and them weren't really gonna fight. Maybe they were all just gonna work together to defeat the asteroid, and maybe later on Zero was the one who came in and kind of started a mess. It's so confusing because it's just like, how did they go from supposedly working together to defeat the asteroid to him sticking his finger in his eye, you know? So like that scene could either be like a reference to the pearls, since we are going to be learning more about the pearls, and since Hosenki is there, maybe it was like a reanimated scene of Sesshomaru taking the pearl from Inuyasha's eye. Because it's like, why else would Sesshomaru take the pearls? It's only a portal to the gravesite, right? I also remember in the original series, they're trying to find a way to go to the place in between this world and the next, right? And they couldn't go through the black pearl because Inuyasha said that it became a part of his eye. So then it's just like, how is it possible that he can just stick his fingers in there and take it out? So it could be a reanimated retelling of Sesshomaru taking the black pearl from Inuyasha's eye. But I kind of doubt it, because whenever they do refer to the old series, they don't really reanimate it that much. But I'm kind of leaning towards it was reanimated and it was just a retelling. So yeah, and I think maybe Zero was the one who captured Inuyasha. Like I really don't know, because I really think Sesshomaru was good, and I don't know. Or maybe we're like being manipulated more to thinking maybe Sesshomaru made some sketchy decisions and stuff like that, right? And like we'll understand why later, but I really don't know. Like this is so confusing to me, this part. And it's just like, if they were going to work together to defeat the asteroid, why did Kagome send Moroha away? Why was she like crying, like as if this is gonna be the last time they're gonna see each other for a while, and like she knew that? So it's kind of hard to tell at this point, and I'm trying not to like analyze it too much because it's gonna be answered in like a few days anyways. So just like, those are my thoughts on it so far. One more thing that I kind of wanted to mention that I thought was kind of interesting is that that Towa here says in episode 14 at one point. She says, you can't just keep someone at your side without their consent. That is just selfish. And I think that is kind of referring to Sesshomaru and Rin, where Sesshomaru was never like, stay here by my side to Rin. Rin is kind of like the one that kind of followed Sesshomaru all the time. Yeah, I think it was kind of low-key referring to that maybe, because it would be selfish if Sesshomaru did make or force Rin to stay by his side, but I don't think he ever did. Sesshomaru is always like that type of person. He's like, I'm gonna do things my own. If you want to come along, it's on you, right? But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. Like my over analysis is my little theories and just thoughts on episode 14 and like possibly episode 15. Let's see how wrong I am. I'm so excited to see how wrong I am. But yeah, I thought this was really interesting. Again, this is just my theories, my personal theories. Don't take it too seriously. This is just for fun, and you guys really enjoy my theories. Thank you. Join the Discord. We're having Studio Ghibli nights every Friday, so we're gonna be watching 2 Studio Ghibli movies every night. Friday night, the times will vary, but this Friday we're going to be watching Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind and Castle in the Sky, and we're going to be watching at 8 p.m. EST on Discord, so join us. The link will be in the description. Also, if you want to further support my channel and buy me coffee, you can join membership for only $2, and you get full access to past live streams as well as special videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's all for this. I'm really excited for the next episode. It's literally like 2:25 a.m. My sleep schedule is so messed up. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Opening and ending analysis coming soon, I hope. That's all I would like to say so far. Thank you guys so much for watching and motivating me to make these videos. I really enjoy making these videos. And I think that's all. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!